With the Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, just 50 miles from the border of North Korea, it is a politically intriguing and fascinating series of games. Cheryl Preheim joins us now live from the Olympic Village. Cheryl, you had the opportunity to visit the DMZ.
Absolutely fascinating experience, Jeff. On the eve of the opening ceremony, the leader of North Korea called his military the emerging leader of the world. The area of the DMZ that we got special access to is the only place along that 160-mile border where soldiers from North Korea and South Korea stand face to face. And as we stepped up to that line between the two countries, you could feel the deep history of anger and mistrust.
It is a place established by war, a place you can see and feel the deep and dangerous division that unresolved conflict brings.
The area is very intense, however, our readiness is 100%.
Soldiers stand watch for whatever may come next at the demilitarized zone.
The fact that we are so close to one of the most threatening countries, communist countries in the world right now, that's what makes it the most dangerous part of this. We're within range of artillery as well as a huge nuclear threat.
We have special permission to be here, an escort by the U.S. military. They take us through checkpoints into the DMZ. We pass the bridge of no return. Nearly 96,000 prisoners of war walked over this bridge in prisoner swaps when the Korean War ended. This is a view very few people are able to see, the line in the sand of a constant and enduring 65-year standoff.
Guarding the border here, we cannot cross this yellow line. This is as far as you're allowed to go between that north and south divide. We're on the 38th parallel. It was chosen in 1953, kind of arbitrarily. U.S. soldiers were told to make that determination of where that border would be, and they wanted a location north of Seoul, and this is it.
Soldiers always wear sunglasses. Even an unintended glance in the past has caused problems. As we are escorted in by U.S. military to the conference room, we are warned not to look at North Korean soldiers in the eye and that many eyes are always on us.
We're under machine gun fire from 3 different areas as well as under very close observation by North Korea.
Because that side is North Korea and this side is Republic of Korea, which...
The room feels nondescript except for soldiers stoically guarding it, but you feel the tension and the significance of a place that separates 25 million North Koreans from freedom.
If you look at that table, those microphones and those lamps, that is the dividing line. Everything on this side is South Korea, everything on that side is North Korea.
There are 2 villages inside the DMZ, one for South Koreans, one for the North, called Propaganda Village. We look over the hills of North Korea to the enormous flag and think of the people who have no access to the outside world. No internet, only the information or misinformation its government chooses to share. A danger in many ways.
This is still a very volatile area.
Here you sense that division is so much more than a physical boundary. It is a limitation of opportunity, connection, and ultimately of peace.
And all of what you just saw is something that 50 million people in South Korea would never have access to, would not be able to see, but wouldn't necessarily want to either. They have a lot of mixed feelings about North Korea being part of the Olympic Games here, but there's curiosity too. I talked to one gentleman inside Olympic Park who said in all his years he's never seen somebody from North Korea, even though it's just the distance from Atlanta to Gainesville, Georgia. He's hoping just to catch a glimpse of somebody from the North Korean team.
Hard to believe, a 65-year standoff that just continues unabated. A terrible story of human history, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Cheryl, thank you. Make sure to tune in tonight for Olympic coverage beginning at 7 p.m. with 11 Alive's All Access Pass and the Olympic Zone. Then starting at 8, NBC will have coverage of figure skating, alpine skiing, and curling. It all begins right after NBC Nightly News with Lester.